This is a video on scientific skills, part 2. In the previous video, I looked at how to graph, the rules for graphing and the types of graphs typically used in science. In this video, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in terms of trying to make predictions from graphs and how to answer particular questions asked in exams. So there's 3 things I want to talk about. First, a question might ask you to draw a line of best fit. A line of best fit is basically a line that goes through data points, and it best shows the relationship between these points. It's typically a straight line. I'll give you an example. Suppose I have this. Forget about the axis for now. Okay, how would I draw a line of best fit? Well, what you want to do is draw a line going through most of the data points, but also ensuring that there's an equal number of data points above and below the line. In this case, is 1 above and 1 below. Do another one. Suppose I have this. How would I draw a line of best fit? Same as before, as best I can. Okay, there's 2 above, 1 below. Okay, that's all right because I've done the best I can, but with most of the data points going through the line, I've had this. So it's ensuring you've got roughly the same number of data points above and below the line. That's a line of best fit. Number 2 is extrapolation. Extrapolation is the simplest concept in science, in maths. It's basically predicting what will happen to the trend, to the curve afterwards, after your set of data points. For example, I've got this, and here's my data points. Suppose it's a perfectly straight line. Extrapolate what happens. Let's say that's time on the x-axis in seconds. And that's, I don't know, temperature, temp, degrees Celsius. What will happen after time? Let's call this 10 seconds. What you can do is draw a dotted line beyond the 10 seconds. That shows extrapolation. Extrapolate means to predict beyond. And let's say the data points here are equally spaced. You can make a prediction and go, okay, the next data point might be here roughly. Let's say 12 seconds and the temperature at X degrees, for example. That's extrapolation. Third and final, we've got interpolation. Interpolate, think of interstate. The word prefix inter means between, right? So this is between data points. Suppose I've got this. Okay, you get a table of values and you draw this and you're missing some data points in the middle. You can just interpolate, and looking at the trend, common sense will tell you it's a straight line. So put a couple of data points here. Suppose there's 2 values missing and you draw a dotted line going through those data points. That's interpolation. So there's 3 ways to go about drawing a line of best fit. Predicting, let's say, a line of best fit, what's going to happen beyond the data points and between the data points for a line of best fit, let's say. Next thing I want to talk about is going from a graph to a table. Suppose I have this. Let's call the bottom axis, x-axis, time, hours, temperature, degrees Celsius. And I've got these data points. Got this table here. It's a graph of temperature versus time. How do I go from here to a table of values? Well, the first thing we'll do is put the independent variable here in the first column. Remember, I go first, I for independent, temperature in degrees Celsius, second column. So the first data point here, time of 10, temperature is 50, 10, 50. Next up, time 20, temperature is still 50. Time 30, temperature is 100. I'm sure you get the idea. Time 40, temperature 150. Time 50, temperatures 200. And lastly, temperatures, time 60, temperatures 250. And that's how you do it. So you start from the left here, work your way to the right, and just look at the data points, read them off the graph. Give you some questions to do. So determine what's happening in each of these three graphs, A, B, and C. Processes I talked about at the start. Just a good activity, good exercise. And number 2, I want you to draw a table for the following graph. Do the best I can with this. Apologies for the mess. Let's give these a crack.